There is nobody interesting in the WNBA past or present except for Caitlin Clark. They've all shown themselves to be sexist, racist, petty, ridiculous.
What is she doing wrong? What more do you want from Caitlin Clark? Seriously, what more do you want from her?
Caitlin Clark is a minority in the WNBA.
It's killing you that a straight white woman has come into the league of angry lesbians and dominated everything.
It is bad news for the WNBA that she's not continuing to play.
Caitlin didn't bring racism to the WNBA. This has been happening.
Caitlin Clark is box office.
For anyone questioning the Caitlin Clark effect, we now have people wanting to watch golf because of her.
Breaking news. Caitlin Clark has officially joined the LPGA Tour, leaving the WNBA behind in a shocking twist that has sent waves through the sports world.
Caitlin Clark will be teeing it up at an LPGA Pro-Am in November.
After facing relentless hate, false narratives, and unfair treatment, Caitlin has made the bold decision to switch leagues, and now the WNBA is scrambling to recover.
We have not seen any ads, we have not seen any Caitlin Clark merchandise, and we for sure as hell have not seen any Caitlin Clark signature shoes.
This move isn't just about switching sports, it's a powerful statement about how the league has failed to protect one of its brightest stars. Clark's journey has been anything but smooth this season. She's been the target of constant criticism, unjust attacks from players, and even bans from other leagues.
Listen, if people want to portray and paint the narrative that there are racial tensions in the WNBA as a result of Caitlin Clark, I would say that's their own problem.
But despite all the obstacles thrown her way, she continues to rise above it all, and now she's taking her talents to a new stage. In this video, we'll dive into the reasons behind Caitlin Clark's decision to leave the WNBA, the hypocrisy of other leagues banning her, and the deeper issues at play.
All you African-American women have been to her is racist. You've been saying white girl, white bitch the entire year.
We'll also break down the ongoing criticism from figures like Jamel Hill and Roz Gold, who have fueled the hate against Clark, raising bigger questions about jealousy and the growing wave of negativity in women's sports.
Jamel Hill, obviously always needing to say something, to chime in, to add her voice to the conversation, even when it's not necessarily needed.
This is a story of resilience, unfair treatment, and the rise of one of the most extraordinary athletes of our time. Let's get into the details.
I was wrong about the impact that Caitlin Clark was going to have on the WNBA. I did not think it was possible that one player could come in and basically quadruple the ratings.
After facing a series of bans and intense scrutiny in the WNBA, Caitlin Clark made a surprising yet bold decision. She joined the LPGA Golf League. The move left many fans and analysts stunned.
And I also just loved the overwhelming response of people that were saying like, oh look, now Caitlin Clark is going to get me to watch golf.
Why would one of the most talented basketball players shift her focus to a completely different sport? The answer is simple. Clark was fed up with the constant hate, hypocrisy, and unfair treatment she endured in the WNBA.
Caitlin Clark playing golf because she looks like a little female Tiger Woods.
The LPGA may seem like an unexpected choice, but for Clark, it represented a fresh start, free from the toxic environment that had overshadowed her basketball career. With no other league willing to embrace her, she saw golf as an opportunity to escape the negativity and showcase her athletic prowess in a different arena.
I think Caitlin Clark is doing the right thing, rising above all of the crap that she's had to endure. The amount of fouls committed on Caitlin Clark higher than any other player, flagrant fouls committed on Caitlin Clark higher than any other player. Caitlin Clark was worried about playing the game, and that is why she got Rookie of the Year. She was not worried about the BS.
What's more, Clark's decision to join the LPGA quickly gained attention. Fans of the basketball star flooded social media and started emailing the LPGA, demanding that her participation be televised. They knew Caitlin's presence could bring a massive surge of viewership, and they were determined to support her no matter what sport she chose to pursue.
This is what one of the tournament heads said. I received your inquiry regarding if our Wednesday Pro-Am will be live streamed anywhere. Unfortunately not. The only way to view would be in person. I will let you know if anything changes, as we do have a lot of people asking the same thing. We are excited to have her with us. Reach out with any other questions and have a great day.
The excitement around Clark's shift to golf is undeniable. She's not just a basketball icon anymore. She's becoming a crossover athlete with the power to bring attention to any sport she enters. The LPGA, recognizing this potential, is reportedly in discussions about how to make her games available to a wider audience, and fans are eagerly awaiting her debut on the course. In leaving the WNBA for golf, Caitlin Clark is making a statement.
Caitlin Clark has been the best thing, the most dominant thing to happen to the WNBA ever. Remember, there's been good players come out of college, but nobody really cared. We'd seen it. Nobody really cared.
She refuses to be held down by a league or players who have tried to marginalize her. Instead, she's carving out a new path, and if her impact in basketball is any indication, her journey in the LPGA is sure to be nothing short of spectacular.
Caitlin Clark is not worried about it by giving her fans a heartwarming message saying this: "Thank you to the many people who have supported me as I've been able to live my childhood dream. I'm filled with gratitude as I reflect on this past year of my life. See you all in year 2.
As Caitlin Clark makes headlines for her bold transition to the LPGA, she continues to face relentless hate and criticism from figures in the media, most notably Jemele Hill and Roz Gold-on-Wood.
Basically saying Caitlin Clark is not responsible for all of this and we shouldn't pretend like she is. But she keeps neglecting to realize that the reason the league is up as a whole are because Caitlin Clark entered the league.
This is the stupidest thing I have seen.
These two have been vocal in their disdain for Clark, but what's behind their criticisms? Is it rooted in valid concerns or something more troubling?
She wants Caitlin Clark, this woman who nobody knows, nobody outside of family gives a rat's ass about. She wants Caitlin Clark to be more vocal about racism permeating through the WNBA.
Jemele Hill's comments about Clark have been nothing short of condescending, painting her success as undeserved and questioning the enthusiasm of her fan base. Hill has gone so far as to suggest that the cult surrounding Clark is problematic, instead of acknowledging that Caitlin's talent has naturally drawn support.
It's killing you that a straight white woman has come into the League of Angry Lesbians and dominated everything.
This wave of negativity from Hill reeks of jealousy. Instead of celebrating a rising star, Hill's rhetoric has focused on tearing Clark down, trying to diminish the importance of her accomplishments.
Clark drew a record 1.84 viewers for her first playoff game. Game 2 viewership was more than double. Jemele Hill, Roz Gold, whatever the hell your name is, it's just killing.
The hate from Roz Gold-on-Wood followed a similar path. Instead of recognizing the pressure Caitlin Clark faces as a high-profile athlete, Gold criticized Clark for not managing her fan base properly.
Caitlin has not had a proactive approach around toxic fandom.
Women should just shut up and dribble in the WNBA. The more they talk, the dumber they are. We get dumber when they speak. We get dumber when their media speak.
This absurd claim puts the responsibility on Clark for the behavior of her fans, as if she is somehow accountable for how they support her. What's worse, Gold's comments ignore the immense challenges Clark faces from other players and media figures who have continuously targeted her, using her as a scapegoat for their own frustrations.
She's really looking out for everybody else, and it's so sad that there are so many people that continue to turn a blind eye to that, knowing how selfless she is, and they still want to say Caitlin Clark, you know, she's not the reason, let's give other players their flowers. No, Caitlin Clark is the reason.
These attacks from Hill and Gold aren't just isolated moments of criticism. They are part of a larger trend where players like Angel Reese, Alyssa Thomas, and others have labeled Clark's fans as racist or haters. Instead of addressing their own failings or the real issues at play, they've chosen to deflect, directing their anger toward Clark and her supporters. This constant targeting has created a hostile environment where Clark is portrayed as a villain, despite her only crime being that she excels on the court and has a passionate fan base.
Problem is you have all of these players, Angel Reese, for example, you have Alyssa Thomas fueling the ideas of racial abuse by fans, but there's no real evidence of it. Brittany Griner speaking out against it. It's, you know, the fans are calling us this, they're shouting these things. Did anybody hear any of these racial slurs happening or these racist actions by fans? The evidence wasn't there, so how are you going to talk about it if there's no evidence, right?
This orchestrated criticism isn't about holding Clark accountable. It's about jealousy and the fear of being overshadowed. Hill, Gold, and these players seem more concerned with maintaining their spotlight than with recognizing the undeniable impact Clark has had on the game. Clark's success represents change in women's basketball, and it's clear that some players and commentators are uncomfortable with this shift. Instead of uplifting her, they're choosing to tear her down.
When it's not going well for you, claim racism. When it's going well for you, claim victim/racism. We get it. We understand. And frankly, I just laugh at it.
But in doing so, they're exposing their own insecurities more than anything else. After Caitlin Clark's decision to pursue golf, the challenges she faced in basketball didn't stop. In fact, they only intensified when she tried to explore opportunities in other basketball leagues.
Maybe it is a good thing that Caitlin Clark isn't playing in Unrivaled this season.
Despite her monumental contributions to the sport, both the Unrivaled League and the potential European opportunities turned into roadblocks, reinforcing the hypocrisy stacked against her.
The Unrivaled basketball account had liked a comment that was seemingly throwing shade at Caitlin Clark. Somebody said, "Please no CC, we've all had enough of her fan base, let us breathe." The Unrivaled basketball account also liked that comment.
The Unrivaled League, which has prided itself on supporting women's basketball players and offering them new platforms, shocked everyone when it banned Caitlin Clark from joining.
Unrivaled losing out on a player like Caitlin Clark, obviously, knowing the Caitlin Clark effect, knowing the kind of ratings that she brings, I think it is a huge missed opportunity.
The league claimed it wanted to maintain a balance and ensure no single player overshadowed the rest. What's ironic is that several high-profile players are currently active in the Unrivaled League, yet none of them are subject to the same restrictions that Caitlin faces.
The league was founded by Breonna Stewart and Nafisa Collier. Let's check out some of the players who have opted in to playing in Unrivaled. Enrique Ogunbowale, Kelsey Plum, Angel Reese is playing, Dearica Hamby's playing, Natasha Cloud, Dejanay Carrington is playing, Brittany Griner is playing. So why do we think that none of the Indiana Fever team has signed up to play in Unrivaled?
The truth is, players fear that Caitlin's presence in the league would steal the spotlight. They've voiced concerns that the media attention and fan support would naturally shift toward her, leaving them in the shadows. It's clear that these bans have more to do with envy and competition than any genuine concern for the league's welfare.
You know, we've seen such a huge inflection of attention, and you know, her play, just the way she plays the game, I think that's going to be sustainable.
The hypocrisy doesn't end there. Caitlin was also offered opportunities to play in European leagues, where many of her WNBA peers are currently headed, choosing to play in countries like Turkey, Russia, and Spain during the off-season.
During this off-season, the players are already moving around. We have Kelsey Mitchell going to play in China, Nalissa Smith also playing in China, and Temi Fagbenle will be playing in Turkey.
Yet Caitlin faced another major hurdle. Nike, one of her key sponsors, stepped in and blocked her from joining any European league, while other WNBA players are free to play in these countries.
Caitlin Clark's in her first NBA playoffs, first NBA season, and she's wearing Kobe Bryant's shoes. They don't even have a shoe for her, and it may not be till 2026, 2027. Nike was nimble enough and had enough vision to see that, hey, let's get LeBron's shoe out here. This guy's going to be a big deal. They can't do this for Caitlin.
Caitlin was restricted due to her rising stardom and her ties to the American market. The narrative that Nike and these leagues want to control where and how she plays further emphasizes how much power Caitlin holds and how much they fear losing control of that influence.
Nike lucked into the marketing chance of a generation, and they're using that to advertise old product. Why is it happening this way? Now here's the money. Based on conversations with people in the know, it indeed has something to do with the WNBA MVP and Nike athlete A'ja Wilson.
This dual ban from both the Unrivaled League and European League speaks volumes about how Caitlin Clark is being unfairly targeted. She has proven time and again that she's an asset to any league she joins, but players, organizations, and even sponsors are trying to block her from reaching her full potential. It's not just about protecting their interests. It's about suppressing a player who has transcended the game and threatens the status quo.
Our biggest star in the league, Caitlin Clark, is only making a base salary of around $76,000.
So what we're seeing here is an undeniable pattern. Caitlin Clark is being held back, not because of her abilities, but because of the fear and jealousy surrounding her dominance. From the WNBA to the Unrivaled League and even the European leagues with Nike pulling the strings, it's clear that everyone knows the power she holds, but instead of celebrating her talent and letting her thrive, these organizations and players are doing everything they can to keep her down.
You know, for whatever reason, they decide to get themselves involved, whether it is actually malintent or maybe they just want to get themselves in the headline. A lot of players got the spotlight this season because of Caitlin Clark, not to mention just overall Caitlin Clark brought millions, literally, more eyeballs to the league this season.
Clark's transition to golf shows just how versatile and driven she is, but the bigger story is the blatant hypocrisy in basketball. While others are free to go where they please,
Yes!
That's huge. Great birdie.
Woo! Great birdie, great birdie.
Clark is being unfairly targeted because she's that much of a threat. And yet, despite the bans, the hate, and the roadblocks, Caitlin Clark continues to rise.
That's a scenario that we haven't seen happen, and I feel like that would be all over the headlines. And it also creates a target on your back when you say things like that.
She's not just a basketball player anymore. She's a movement, and nothing, not even the powerhouses of sports, can keep her down for long. Let's see how this story unfolds, but one thing's for sure, Caitlin Clark's journey is far from over, and the world will be watching her next move. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated on this unfolding saga. Thanks for watching.